still looking at a red circle, but I will talk anyway. It's Time Out Thursday, and I thought just to mix things up a bit, I would do my live today. Yesterday was literally I hit the wall. I was mentally, not so mentally, but emotionally and physically exhausted. Sorry, I've just been scratching my nose. And I just needed to contain life again after being on the road for 10 days, and I was pretty exhausted. And so I thought no time better than the present to go in and take some rest and to have a little think about, why I was feeling so knackered. And some of the reasons that I came up with was it was definitely hormonal. There was a lot of toddler stuff going on in the last few days, potty training, um, car sickness, projectile vomiting, at several different points on the road trip. Coming home to a house that was in completely mess and chaos. The fridge needed to be cleaned out. There was washing piled up all over the floor. The floors needed mopping. My toddler has grown out of most of her clothes, so I needed to switch in all of her sister's clothes from bigger sizes. So that took a bit of organizing and sorting out. My study has been completely overwhelming mess for the last few weeks, so I needed to sort that out. And mentally, my motivation just kind of dropped down several points, decibels, points, I'm not quite sure which, but so yesterday was definitely Wellness Wednesday and looking after my own wellness and thinking about how I was feeling and what had been, kind of causing me to feel totally exhausted yesterday. So I did a bit of reflecting on that, and what I was mindful of was to think and reflect as to when I last felt like that, and it was actually probably a month ago when every ounce of energy drained from my body. And then that started me thinking along the path of, well, I've just turned 45, so I had my birthday Sunday week ago and turned 45, and I realize now that my hormones probably are changing with age. And one of my goals was to be a healthy woman in her 40s because I have a toddler and I need my energy. So I was thinking a little bit about the impact of hormones as I get older. Also, I was careful not to get attached to the stories that were running in my head, because when we're emotionally and physically exhausted, we start to run all kinds of blockbuster films in our head, and that's unhelpful and also unhealthy and can cause us to spiral down. So I was able to use my experiences of looking back to when I last felt like this to think, okay, well, this too shall pass. This is just a phase today. You need to allow yourself to take time out to rest, and to be kind to yourself. I did indulge in some chocolate yesterday, which did make me feel good. Probably had a few more coffees than I would normally have, but that was fun as well. So I was just being kind to myself and knowing that this too shall pass, and I needed to take the time to kind of rest and reflect. And ultimately I just did a little inventory in the morning to figure out, what must I do, what do I need to do, and what can I do, because I've realized as well how when I'm not operating according to my values, I also kind of can get annoyed with myself or down on myself or have negative thoughts. And on page 16 of my book, it says, what are my values? So my values are integrity, helping, not letting people down, and accountability. And they're written there, if I can't show you because I'm balancing my laptop on my lap, quite clearly. So ultimately, if I feel like I'm letting people down because I'm not delivering what I've said I'm going to deliver, and I've got quite a lot of work on at the moment, being accountable for myself as well as for what I'm saying I'm committing to do, and also helping. But ultimately I reflect that if I'm not helping myself, then I can't help others. If I'm letting myself down, then of course by nature I'll be letting others down. So yesterday I focused on using my values to support myself as opposed to my output and my giving, as it were. So that was also quite a useful exercise, because now I've kind of gone through that process of figuring out some of this stuff. You're much able to be self-reflective, to analyze things better and to consider how your thoughts, feelings are driving your behaviors. And that's kind of something that I talk a lot about in my wellness workshops. So yes, I thought yesterday, do you know what, Chrissy, you'll feel better tomorrow and you'll catch up and you'll be productive and you'll make the most of the time that you have today. So yesterday I just did things I enjoyed. So I lent on my sustainers, and the things that sustain me are writing, cooking, spending time in nature, and and planning. So when I picked the girls up, we went to a playground by the river and we could be in nature for a while. And I cooked lots of nutrient-dense food so that we had some nourishing food to eat this week. And I did a little bit of planning. And one of the things I've started planning is 2021. Oh my God! And I was at the what do they call them? Like those reject shops. And I saw this diary and it just jumped out at me actually, because I think the letters, I'm kind of a big deal, were nice and bold and made me smile, and 2021 on the bottom. So that was cool. I thought, oh, that's the journal, that's the diary for me for 2021. So I grabbed it because also it was only $3.50. What a bargain. And I went through and I wrote in key dates for 2021, which was nice to have that thought about. And I also wrote down my top 5 goals for 2021. Do you want to know what they are? I'm guessing you're saying yes, want to know what they are. So I wrote them here on the notes page, 2021 goals. So my top goals for 2021 will be to publish 2 more books, and they will be collaborations. And I've already had an offer from one person, unsolicited, to collaborate with me on my second children's book. So the story is written and she's offered to do the illustration. So that is Fandango. The second person I want to collaborate with is a man that I met at the Youngabara Book Fair a few months ago. And this is his work here. I caught up with him in Port Douglas when I was up there on Sunday. Stephen Nowakovsky in my best Polish accent. His dad is Polish. He's born in Australia. So he does absolutely amazing and beautiful work, diaries, calendars, prints, portraits, etc. And when I met him in Youngabara a few weeks ago, well, not August actually, I said to him, does he ever collaborate with authors? He said yes. I said maybe we could think about a book together. He said yes. So I went along and visited him at the markets in Port Douglas, bought some of his calendars for 2021 as Christmas gifts for people, and now I'm thinking about an idea of how he and I can collaborate on a book together for 2021. So that is super awesome as well. So that was goal number 1, 2 more books published. Second of all was to be invited to Cheltenham Literature Festival, which is in the UK. So that's actually happening right now as we speak. Usually it's more than 300 events over a week. This year it's condensed down to a very small number of venues. And I've provisionally spoken to them about my books and which ones I could present at the Literature Festival. So I would be waiting on my formal invitation for that, which would be wonderful. My third goal was Mind, Body, Spirit festivals in Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. So let's hope that Mr. COVID is no longer with us and the Mind, Body, Spirit festivals are back on track for 2021 and I can be there with my books. And I'm going to turn my, where is it? Sorry, leaning all over the place. So my book's title is 12 Steps to an Unbreakable Mind, Body and Spirit. My intention is to turn that into an online program, a 12-step program, which people can download. So I'll be working on that over the next few weeks and months. And to do 2 women's wellness retreats. So my first wellness retreat is coming up at the end of October, Mission Beach. We have 19 ladies confirmed to come to Mission Beach. I have 2 spots left, so if you are keen, please drop me a message ASAP. That starts on Friday the 23rd and finishes on Sunday the 25th. It's going to be so awesome. And when I was driving back from Cairns on Monday, I was putting together the final detailed running order and the workshops, and I had a planning call with my co-host Karen Orts-Ronland on Tuesday, and we went through the program and it's looking super cool. So I can't wait for that women's wellness retreat. So the 12th to 14th of March is the first date for 2021. That's confirmed at Mission Beach. If you're interested, let me know. And then we'll probably do the replica of that again October next year. So depending on Cheltenham. So I'll just need to check that out. So yeah, that's super cool and exciting. So my 2021 planning yesterday did help sustain me, as well as cooking healthy food and doing the work that I had committed to do in order to not let myself down or others down today. So that's good. Where to next, essentially? So just a reflection on my 10-day road trip. So I drove north, stopping first at Forest Beach, and I did 3 Meet the Author events in 10 days. One was at Forest Beach last Sunday, the 27th, which was my birthday day. Then I did another Meet the Author event in Kuranda at the markets. That was a brilliant day, and what was brilliant about that is I met so many awesome people again. So there was a lady who had a stall opposite me, and she's there all the time, and her name is Margaret, and she was originally from Cherbourg in Europe. She married an Aboriginal man. He's since passed away, but she learned Aboriginal art. She sells his art, and she's beautiful, and she gave me this. Look at that. That is so awesome. So I swapped her my book for that painting, which was wonderful. And she also bought a koala book and several other books that I had with me from other Townsville authors. So that was very special, and I was so glad to meet her. The second amazing thing that happened was this lady, Viviana Verheersen, who I told you all about some weeks ago. I met in Yungaburra, and this is her book, Extraordinary Experiences, and it's really about the spiritual side of life, the non-physical characteristics of life, and I've finished reading the book. I loved it. I've given it to my friend to read, but because Viviana came to visit me at Kuranda, and she gave me more copies of her book. How exciting is that? And not only that, she was very generous to give me several volumes of training materials that she had written and used to deliver training over the course of her career. And she gifted them to me. So I have those volumes here ready to go through to see what other materials I can adapt and incorporate into my wellness workshops. So that was super special, and I was very grateful to Viviana. And she's also a poet, so she gave me a book of her poetry, and I've gone through and read all of that, and I loved it. So it was wonderful to deepen that connection with Viviana. She has been reading my book. She was very generous in her feedback as well, so that was kind. And so it's just so simple that, you know, one visit to Yungaburra, amazing collaborations with Stephen Novakovsky, with Viviana, and with Chris from Booklark Books in Yungaburra, who is now selling my books, and was also very complimentary about the book generally, the content, the poetry, etc. So that was wonderful. And, you know, amazing in Cairns to have those Meet the Author events over 3 days, and the book signing at Collins Booksellers in Smithfield, and to get to know the wonderful Kirsten Brown intimately throughout the day, and to learn some hints and tips from her, some insights. I showed her the koala who lost his heart. She's very complimentary. Everyone I've shown the book to is keen to stock it. We hope to go to print late this week, which is probably tomorrow or early next week, and then printed copies would be 3 to 4 weeks away. So that's super awesome, and the book is looking lovely, so I'm very excited. I had a chance to do a live interview on ABC Breakfast Far North Queensland, and that was aired in Townsville as well as Cairns region last Wednesday, so that was awesome, and I hope to get a copy of that this week so I can share it. And then the visit to Port Douglas was awesome because I got to meet, you know, lots of the other arts and crafts and stall holders. Bought some beautiful gifts. Bought an amazing t-shirt, which is not ironed, so I can't show you, but I will show you because I love it. And just to kind of see how things operate up there during the cooler months, and to see how I can be involved with the Port Douglas markets in the future. And I also met other children's authors there, so I bought a bundle of books I'll show you next time from 2 children's authors there, and my daughter is loving them. We've been doing them as our nighttime stories this week, so that's cool. So coming up this week, so today's Thursday, got a lot of work to catch up on, but that's cool. Saturday I'm off to Ingham. I'm doing a wellness workshop in Ingham on Saturday morning, and then on Saturday afternoon I've been invited by Hinchinbrook Shire Council to be a part of their mental health day, family fun day at Forest Beach again. So it's lovely to go back to Forest Beach because it is awesome. If you haven't been to Forest Beach, I highly recommend it. There'll be a family fun day set up as well as stalls, and I'm going to be a guest speaker on the stage at around 3 p.m. talking about well-being, health and wellness, and my book. So that's beautiful to be invited to do that. And then on Sunday here in Townsville we have the kindness walk starting in the afternoon from Jazeen Barracks. So I'll be joining the team from Mentally Healthy City Townsville and participating in the kindness walk. That's also a family fun day, and there's foods and arts and crafts and stall holders at Jazeen Barracks. So do go along. I'll be taking my eldest daughter with me, and hopefully it will be a lovely and fun afternoon. So that's kind of quite a busy weekend ahead, but I am looking forward to that. One other really cool thing that happened in the last week, but I haven't had a chance to even really process it yet, is that I've been invited to be a podcast guest on a podcast called Make It Happen. And Make It Happen is one of the most influential podcasts in the world right now for speakers, and you the format is quite you get asked set questions, and you have 3 minutes to answer the question, and so I need to feel in a very inspired place in order to kind of give my best, because you record your answers and you send it, and then they play it as part of their daily podcast. So that's really awesome and also fun, because when they were calling for guests, and that's called the Make It Happen podcast, I was able to tell them that I'm a Make It Happen kind of a gal, because my journal says Make It Happen. So I thought that was quite funny and interesting at the same time. So what else? Yeah, I think I've told you everything really. 2 spots left on the Mission Beach Wellness Workshop. If you're interested, please let me know. This weekend Ingham, and the following weekend I will be back in the Burdekin. I'll tell you more about that next week. And really just to encourage you that when you start to notice that you're hitting a physical, mental or emotional wall, to take some time out to reflect back on when you last felt like that, and rather than spiral down, start to think about what are some proactive steps that you can do to sustain yourself, and what does sustain you versus what drains you, and to think that this will pass, and you have an opportunity then just to do the things that you need to do to nourish your soul, and to not get dragged down by your thoughts, because your thoughts affect your feelings and your feelings affect your behaviors. But it's really important in those times to not get attached to our thoughts, to not allow blockbuster movies to play in our head, to not allow ourselves to be driven to destructive behaviors, because all of a sudden we think, negative thoughts and feelings start to come up about ourselves, like, I'm not good enough, I'm useless, I'm exhausted, I can't do this, why is this happening to me, why does nobody like me, why do I have no motivation, why do I have no energy, why am I not feeling well? We can ask ourselves these questions, but rather than get dragged down into a story, just to be curious about them, and to start to think, okay, well, why are these things coming up for me? When did they last come up for me? What am I feeling right now that is similar to how I felt before? What am I feeling that's different? What does my body need? What does my mind need? And what does my heart need? And sometimes you need to be told you're loved. And beautifully, yesterday I picked the eldest one up from school, and I needed to go to the post office to post some books. And we were driving along, probably only half a kilometre from the school gate, and she said, "Mummy, I really love you." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And she said, I just want you to know that I'm so proud of you and everything that you do, and I miss you so much, and I love you very much. And that was the best thing that could have happened to me for the entire day. And after I heard that, I did feel a lot better, and things inside me just kind of calmed down. So sometimes we need to be told we're loved and cared about, and that's helpful. And we don't always get that when we need it. So if you need it today, I love you, I care about you, take care of yourself, and take some time out if you need it. I'm Chrissy Regan. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.